Thousands are fleeing the northwestern province of Idlib in Syria following an uptick in attacks by government forces over the past month. Syrian refugees across the border in Turkey now concerned for their loved ones. CGTN's Mikhail Bardavid has more.
Idlib province is on the verge of a humanitarian crisis as the Russia-backed forces of President Bashar al-Assad pound the last stronghold for rebel forces in Syria. Over 330,000 civilians have been displaced in the past month while trying to escape airstrikes, especially in Marat al-Numan. Keeping safe is a challenge for those still living in the area, and for those who have left, conditions are dire. Camps in surrounding towns are overcrowded, with some left without shelter. Tens of thousands have also headed to the Turkish border, despite the country's president stressing Turkey cannot handle more refugees. Turkey is currently hosting over 3.7 million Syrian refugees. There's now also a large Syrian community in Istanbul, mostly living in the old part of the city here in Fatih. Many of them express concern for the people still living in Idlib. Abdul Kadir is a refugee from Marat al-Numan. He's been living in Turkey for the past 3 years, working for a Syrian radio station. He hasn't seen his mother in 9 years. His family fled their home city and found refuge in the nearby city of Al-Bab. Abdul Kadir video chats with them daily, but he says he's lost hope of ever seeing them again.
If they have internet, it means they're alive. Whenever I hear there was shelling in Marat al-Numan, I return to the phone and check their last seen message on WhatsApp. I got very worried and texted everyone until someone tells me they're okay.
Part of Abdul Kadir's job is staying in touch with people still in Marat al-Numan. Calling his friend Omar, who is trying to help people escape the area, he says conditions are so harsh that it makes one want to take off the clothes you're wearing and give them to a child freezing in front of you. Another man from Idlib, Ahmed, volunteers at an NGO in Istanbul, where he tries to provide support for people in Syria.
With the Syrian House NGO, we did a campaign last month. We finished it and started a new one. The campaign was about collecting jackets, shoes and blankets and sending them to the border. We're now waiting for the documents to be issued to send the clothes to Syria.
Ahmed also tries to comfort friends still in Syria. While calling a friend who has escaped to the north of Idlib, she tells him the freezing temperatures were so harsh, some wanted to return to Idlib thinking it's better to die in their own houses. After a pledge from Assad to take back control of Idlib, the Syrian army has seized dozens of villages in the past few weeks. Meanwhile, for civilians still in the area, the struggle for survival continues. Mikhail Bardavid, CGTN, Istanbul.